see so many of us assembled here, especially on a Saturday weekend, Saturday afternoon. Thanks to all of you for coming here. I think that is the power of Dr. Sudha Seshaiyyan. Disha Bharat is conducting this program, Ethics from Epics, to serve as a bridge between the ancient and the modern. I take the privilege of welcoming our esteemed speaker, Dr. Sudha Seshaiyyan, who has graciously accepted to enlighten us on governance ethics in Ramayana. Our session is also graced by Dr. Venkatamani, Director of Amity Global School. She is yet to arrive. Srimati Vidyalakshmi, Principal of Shankara School. Our Dr. Satish of Meenakshi Engineering College, and one more professor, NSS professor from Meenakshi Engineering College. Our well-wishers, parents, and it is being viewed by Disha Bharat volunteers and all over the country. Our founder Rekha ma'am, Disha Bharat team all over India, and all those friends and well-wishers, and my dear student friends. A warm welcome to you all. We have gathered here to celebrate, to ponder upon Maryada Purushottam Ram. Last week, we celebrated Ram Navami. Let us take this opportunity to learn more about Ramarajya and the governance ethics that is relevant even today. The lamp denotes knowledge. Let us start the program with lighting of the lamp. I now request our speaker and chief guest to light the lamp, and Vidyalakshmi also. Volunteers. Kavita ma'am. Yeah. Shanti. ஏத்திடுங்க பரவாயில்ல ஏத்திடுங்க. Shanti da வாங்கி. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Vidyalakshmi, ma'am. Now I call upon Aishwarya Sharandas to render the invocation song.
भारतेश्वरी पापनाशिनी, भारतेश्वरी पापनाशिनी, भारत मेनुम ज्ञान कोयल ज्ञानांबिकनी, भारतेश्वरी पापनाशिनी, குமரி முனை தவம் செய்யும் பகவதி நீயே, காஷ்மீர பனிமலையை காக்கும் வைஷ்ணவி, ஸ்ருங்கபீட சங்கரரின் சாரதை நீயே, ஸ்ருங்கபீட சங்கரரின் சாரதை நீயே, காளிகட்ட ராமகிருஷ்ணன் பவதாரிணியே, भारतेश्वरी पापनाशिनी, நஞ்சை உண்ட கண்டன் தந்த பாகீரதி நீ குஞ்சு தமிழ் குருமுனிவன் காவிரியும் நீ காளிங்க நர்தனன் ஸ்ரீகண்ணன் யமுனை நீயே வேள்வி கண்டு வேத பூமி தந்த சிந்து நீ பாரதேஸ்வரி பாபநாசினி வான்மறை திருக்குறள் தந்த வள்ளுவன் நீயே வேதம் 4 மாபாரத வியாசனும் நீயே சிலம்பி செய்த சேரன் தம்பி இளங்கோவும் நீயே கம்பன் காளிதாசன் கவி பாரதியும் நீயே கம்பன் காளிதாசன் கவி பாரதியும் நீயே பாரதேஸ்வரி பாபநாசினி பாரதம் எனும் ஞான கோயில் ஞானாம்பிகை நீ பாரதேஸ்வரி பாபநாசினி நமஸ்தே.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Soulful singing. You just brought the entire Bharat Mata in front of us. Thank you so much. Now I call upon Srimati Shanti, Disha Bharat coordinator, to give a glimpse on what is Disha Bharat is all about.
Namaste all. Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Sudha Seshaiyyan ma'am, and all other dignitaries and friends. I am here to brief you about what is Disha Bharat. To start with, let us have a look at the society around us. You will all agree with me that there is a significant development in the infrastructure, technology, telecom, education, etc. Same time, you all will not deny the fact that there are more corruptions, narcotics, women abuse, drugs, all the social evils are around us. So there is a stark contrast. There is a gap. So we, Disha Bharat, we step in to fill up that gap. We are striving hard to fill up that gap. See, in 2005, we just started, it was a just simple and a humble beginning with just one program, small program with 30 college students, which our founder ma'am Rekha Ramachandran started with. It is like now we are serving, we have already touched 4 lakh young lives of students, and we are still counting on. We started with college students. The reason is that we thought college students are future of our society and they are pillars of our country. So what we thought, we realized that students are not useless, they are just used less. So we started with our vision, that is transform youth to transform nation. So we focus on the character building based on our country and culture. Our signature program is one day PDP, which covers 5 cohesions, personality cohesions, that is physical, emotional, intellectual, just like what sir took now, quizzes on our country and culture, and then our social cohesion and spiritual cohesion. It is just a holistic program. Actually, at the end of the program, students, they feel enlightened. They feel that they are being heard, because we have that emotional cohesion. One program is there, self-awareness or group counseling we will do. So many students, they tell that, oh, this is after a long time somebody is there to hear us. So that was the effect of that group, that is the effect of the group counseling. And at the end of the session, they not only feel proud about their things they get enlightened, they feel proud about the country, rich heritage of our country and culture. And not only this one day program, we also conduct many credit courses in colleges. The colleges means it is online as well as offline, and we give on value education, personality development, our country and heritage and culture. And we offer internship to the college students. They are exposed to the outside world to have experiential learning, and they are allowed to uphold the value, and they are taught to own up the issues. Instead of sitting and complaining, we will teach them how to become a catalyst of change. And we also conduct faculty development program on the theme of Prerana, that is journey from teacher to guru. This program empowers the faculties and help them enrich their professional experience towards nation building. And we conduct parent orientation program. This is like where parents are sensitized about the present day challenges which the students are facing. Actually, we at this age, our problems are like different from these children's problems. So we just want to the parents to sensitize about that. The reason is that these children, they are having mass information. They have information at their fingertips because of the advance of technology. So we help in building the bridge between the parents and the youth with family bonding, mutual trust, and help to create a safe and secure space that the children should be able to run to the parents, and come what may, they should be safe with the parents. So that is what we are trying. And we have so far worked with 300 plus colleges in and out of Karnataka, and more than 25,000 plus faculty members have attended our faculty development program. From the year 2022, we are expanding our wings pan-India. We have our state chapters in Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, everywhere. And we are still counting on. And this year, Disha Bharat is celebrating its 20th year. We are organizing many special programs covering all the stakeholders of the education. With the diligent guidance and mentoring of our Bangalore team, we at Disha Bharat Tamil Nadu chapter already conducted 15 PDPs, and we feel proud in joining our hands in this 20th year celebrations. Actually, first program we conducted, the students are the champions of change. That's just 2 weeks back we completed that regarding voter awareness program. The students have been performing well, and about that our another coordinator will be explaining you. So this is our second program. These are all special programs for this 20th year. This is our second program, Ethics from Epics. It is a monthly talk series. Last month one happened. This month we arranged here. So with the support of eminent personalities like Dr. Sudha Seshaiyyan ma'am and Dr. Venkatamani ma'am, and with the help of staff and NSS coordinators of Sri Shankara Senior Secondary School, we are here to make the mark in the minds of young people. And this is our small step towards the making Bharat Vishwaguru. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanti ma'am. A good intro into Disha Bharat and what kind of impact we are working for. Thank you so much. We have so many volunteers like Shanti ma'am, and also some full-time workers who work in different parts of India, who have dedicated the time and life for the youth of Bharat without any expectations. We have amongst us teachers, lecturers, software engineers, entrepreneurs, homemakers, who work for the transformation of youth towards the betterment of the society. As Shanti ma'am told you, Disha Bharat is celebrating its 20th year, and students as champions of change is one of the most important event. I just want to give you a glimpse on what is this Champions of Change. Champions of Change is a unique initiative that aims to harness the inherent talent of students toward making a positive impact on the society. Selected students from different colleges will be trained on various activities related to social awareness and execute the initiative in higher education institutions and public places, thereby becoming a catalyst of social change. In Chennai, Champions of Change began with voter awareness program, campaign conducted by students with the complete support of Dr. Venkatamani of Amity Global University and Dr. Archana Prasad and Dr. Sumangala of MOP Vaishnava College. We conducted a one-day workshop in Amity Global School. Around 30 students joined that both from Amity and MOP Vaishnava participated. 15 students went on a campaign to colleges and corporates. Around 600 students In 3 colleges, 3 corporates were also covered. They also participated in an online meet of 100 doctors where these students conducted a campaign on 100 for 100% voting. The students conducted the campaign through poems, skits and speeches. There is a saying in Tamil, if you draw a line, youth will build a road on that. That's what we saw on that day. When these students went for a campaign, as a token of appreciation, I request our chief guest, Dr. Sudha Seshaiyyan, to issue the certificates to the students. So from, I think, from MOP Vaishnava, we have around 10 students, but the students who came for the campaign, they were not able to come. So I'll just read out the name of the students who went for the campaign. Yeah. So, Srinitya Mohan, Harshita R, Harsha K, Akshaya M, yeah, she's taking, Ananya S, Samyukta Sendil Kumar, and Shivani S. These 7 students went to 3 colleges and covered around 600 students. They also conducted an online meet with the doctors and inspired the doctors so that they go for voting on 19th. And it really happened. They took a pledge on that day. Thank you. Okay, we also have some students from Amity. Actually, they have not come. We had 7 to 8 students from Amity Global who came, but they have not yet reached. I think they went for an internship and they said they will come back, but they have not yet reached. I'll just read out the names. Shamsuddin, Mohan Kumar, Gurucharan, Niyazul Fayat, Prerna, Kirtana, Sri Rajan, and Vinisha. These were the students from Amity Global who also took part in the campaign, and they went to different corporates. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Now, setting the context. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, my dear students. Now I call upon Sri Hari. Oh, one second. Yes, keep your bag and come. Students of Amity Global, Shamsud. And Fiaz. Fiaz, right? Sri Rajan, yeah. They have come. Please receive the. So they went to three corporates and they addressed a student of around 100 and they took a voter's pledge. Shamsud did a wonderful poem in Tamil. It was his own creation. So thank you students. Thank you. Yeah, so thank you, Shamsud. So Shamsud was in between an internship, so he took time off to come. Thank you. Please be seated, Shamsud. Now, setting the context. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, my dear student friends. Now I call upon Sri Hari, coordinator Disha Bharat, to set the context for today's program. Ethics from epics and its relevance. Sri Hari is a software engineer from HP and a Disha Bharat coordinator. On to Sri Hari.
Thank you, Bharati ji. Welcome, everyone. So we are here to talk about ethics from epics. So Bharat, as its name suggests, embodies a land which is dedicated to the pursuit of wisdom and knowledge. Our eternal scriptural heritage talks about Vedas, Upavedas, Smritis, Itihasas. And as you know, Vedas is basically a manual and Puranas are visual guides that you can refer to. These for the life, these epics are not mere stories, but it allows you to, it gets you the precious jewels across the ocean, and gives you the wisdom, and it gives you access to every individual who's part of this country. Sorry, excuse me. Please excuse, sorry. So we are looking about the Vedas and the Upavedas. Check. Check. So, yeah. So the Ramayana, as we know, is the world's oldest epic portraying about lofty ideals. And Mahabharata, which is also called the Panchama Veda, which is the largest epic that was ever written, which delves into the intricacies of human tendencies. The essence of life is basically transitioning from a life of divine, driven by human tendencies, to one which is more guided by ideals, anchored in values and ethics. Along with the transformative journey, these epics offer profound insights into purposeful living, providing solace amongst turmoil. It will also allow us to drive inspiration during moments of self doubt and unwavering guidance towards self realization and enlightenment. As part of the 20th year celebration of Disha Bharat, Ethics from Epics is a special initiative, which is basically a monthly talk series on ancient epics such as Ramayana, Mahabharata, and brings it different angles and dimensions. This includes concept of dharma, Rajadharma, exploring leadership, ideal womanhood, Tyaga and Seva, and which are the few topics that will be dealt in detail. Eminent personalities like Madam Sudha Seshaiyyan ji and scholars across the country will be talking about this topic and lecturing as part of the series. This talk series aimed to showcase relevance of epics in this modern world and how it is relevant to all of you students, and also cultivate an appreciation for our timeless exploration of knowledge. It will allow us to inspire and walk steadfastly on this ethical path in every aspect of life, be it personal, professional, family, social, and spiritual. Let's gather in this occasion to listen with attention and interest. Also, let's celebrate the glory of the ancient truth and take some life lessons. So, what are the different areas that we talk as part of this ethics from epics? It talks about universal human values that that you already know, the dharma, nurturing family bonds, how to cultivate social harmony. So these are different areas. Today, our focus is on governance. On this occasion, which our largest democracy is going through, which is the elections, I think governance becomes an important aspect. So we request Sudha Seshaiyyan ji. Before that, I will request Uma Chandrasekhar ji to give a small intro on our chief guest. Thank you.
Thank you, Srihari. Now, Thanksgiving, even before we start, I think we have a small memento for Sudha Seshaiyyan ma'am and Vidyalakshmi ma'am. I request Vidyalakshmi ma'am to give this memento to Sudha Seshaiyyan ma'am. And a small memento for Vidyalakshmi ma'am. The moment we told her that we want to conduct this program, there was no hesitation. Immediately she said, you can go ahead. So it was so easy. And this program would not have happened without the cooperation of Vidyalakshmi ma'am, Kavita ma'am, and Mohan sir. So I think we need to thank them profusely. So this is a small gift from our side. Thank you, ma'am. Now I call upon Mrs. Uma Chandrasekhar to give a small introduction about Dr. Sudha Seshaiyyan. It's not very easy. So, but we have made it short and crisp. So I call upon Mrs. Uma Chandrasekhar. Uma Chandrasekhar, she is a retired army school principal, and her passion to be with the students, has brought her into Disha Bharat. She is also Disha Bharat coordinator. Welcome.
Thank you, Bharati ma'am. Good evening to one and all. I have a slight disturbance in the throat. Kindly bear with me. Our chief guest for the evening, Dr. Sudha Seshaiyyan, retired recently as Vice Chancellor of MGR Medical University and presently the Director of Shastra University Chennai campus, had been in the medical field for more than 3 decades at various levels. A medical doctor, a medical teacher, and a medical administrator. To continue, an excellent orator, a lover of history, a writer, a spiritual enthusiast, and a resource person on Indian culture. Dr. Sudha is an Ashtavadani indeed. Ma'am, I counted it. Maybe I have left out something. She's been teaching both at UG and PG levels, thus guiding successive generations effectively and efficiently. Dr. Sudha, who has been exposed to medical administration quite early in her career, has successfully scaled the heights with a relative ease and great grit. Dr. Sudha is the first publishing and compiling editor of the translated version of Britannica Concise Encyclopedia in Tamil. Having more than 25 titles to her credit in literature, spirituality, history, biography, and social values, she writes regular columns in Tamil magazines. Dr. Sudha is very popular in the spiritual circuit of Tamil language, rendering spiritual discourses in India and abroad. Her discourses on varied topics like Lalita Sahasranamam, Vishnu Sahasranamam, Saundarya Lahari, Thirumandiram, and Sivapuranam are appreciated and enjoyed by a whole lot of diversified audience. She's been a quiz master and compiled a few quiz books. She had the privilege of translating to Tamil the book authored by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and had the honor of getting it released by Dr. Kalam, thus adding another feather to her cap. Dr. Sudha is a much sought after resource for musicians and dancers in imparting the tenets of Indian culture and ethos. One may wonder how it was and is possible for Dr. Sudha to carry out so many tasks and excel in every one of the tasks. It's definitely her determination and energy that has made the Herculean balancing act possible. I thank the Almighty for giving me this opportunity to introduce such a wonderful person. Thank you.
Now I invite upon, we don't want to take much of your time. We are waiting for the main event of the day. So I invite upon Dr. Sudha Seshaiyyan to deliver her ideas on governance ethics in Ramayana. I think surely it will be a really enlightening evening. So we'll start.
Namaste, Vanakkam, and greetings to all of you this afternoon. Thank you very much, Bharati ji, and all the other members of Disha Bharat, Madam Principal of this institution, and all the invitees. At the outset, my thanks to Disha Bharat, and I suppose without wasting much time, we shall get to what we are supposed to discuss. I do understand the kind of impatience that any student would have. So let's not lose time on this count. Before I start, I just have a few questions, and I don't expect the answers immediately, but these are questions which I would wish each one of you to brood over. Question number one, you've been hearing so much about values and Indian civilizational values, not mere values, but Indian civilizational values, and something about the Puranas, the Itihasas, and so on. Now, within your available resources of information, please think or try to answer this question. You think Itihasas, Puranas, all these legends, all these mythological stories do have some kind of relevance for people who are living today. Think of it. You think that there is relevance there? These stories do have some significance, or these stories can be forgotten? There is another question which I would want to moot here. For this question, I want answer. Okay? There was a quiz before I walked into this hall, and I heard the quiz master talking about various versions of Ramayana, and he was also referring to the Ranganatha Ramayana, which is the major Ramayanic version in Telugu. Now my question is, Ramayana has been written, authored, composed, sung so many ever times, but the story has not changed, right? At least the core story has not changed. It is always Sita who gets abducted by Ravana, or it is always Ravana who abducts Sita. We don't change the core story because, it's very old, pretty old, and boring to hear the same story. Tell me frankly, if only a movie which came out 2 years ago, any movie that you liked, maybe a blockbuster, would you prefer the same movie to be taken again and again, or kind of given to you in different forms? Would you prefer that? And why then we have the same Ramayana repeatedly given to us? It's the same Ramayana. When the quizmaster asked you a question, you all said Valmiki, and then suddenly someone said Kambar and someone said Tulsidas. But then he had another answer, and you think how many versions of Ramayana are there in the world? Huh? How many? 300 plus. Any other answer? Right. Can you tell me in what all languages do we have Ramayana? We've already noticed that it's in Sanskrit, Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, Malayalam, Kannada, Marathi, Assamese, Bengali, Gujarati, in Indonesia, someone said Indonesia, yes. Tibet, huh? Japanese, Thailand, yes. Come on, faster. Cambodia, yes or no? Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, English, I'm not too sure, but I would not say no. If there could be a Japanese Ramayana, and if there can be a Ramayana in Mongolia, it is possible that there could be Ramayanic versions in different parts of the world which we may not still be aware of. Someone said 300 plus. That's a very gross underestimate. It could be more. We are not able to count for the simple reason we still have not had an opportunity to completely check. Oh, okay. This only is connected online, is it? Fine. Right. The basic truth is Ramayana has been finding its position across the globe. And why I said 300 plus could be a gross underestimate, I'll just give you an example. Somebody said Kannada, right? In Kannada alone, from the 1st century till the 20th century, there had been at least 28 or 29 Ramayanas, and believe me, those were all Jain Ramayanas. There were also other, regular kind of Hindu Ramayanas. Only Jain Ramayanas, there had been at least 28 or 29. Which means the story is not the only matter of significance. That is what I'm trying to tell you. When I asked you a question, if a movie can be redone, you said no, because for us, in the movie, whatever happens, whatever story, we are worried about that story, and when the same story gets repeated, we get bored. But as far as Ramayana or Mahabharata are concerned, it is not the story alone. The story is important, but the information that the story gives us, that is much more important. It is not Rama, it is not Ravana, it is not Sita, it is not Bharata, it is not those names which are important, but the information that the entire story or parts of the story would give us. And today we are supposed to be discussing governance ethics from Ramayana. And the one who set the context said this is the right time because the largest democracy of the world is going in for a democratic process. And when we are right inside the democratic process, it is befitting that we think of the ethics, the nuances of how governance should be from Ramayana. And kindly pardon me, I would not be able to give you all those pieces of information that are available in Ramayana regarding governance. We'll only have a kind of a bird's eye view. Even that would take maybe around 40 minutes or so. So, if only we need to go through every bit of it, maybe it'll take years. So, we'll just have a bird's eye view. What exactly is governance? Now, this is the modern definition for governance. Governance is that process of making decisions and enforcing decisions within an organization or within a society. When we say governance in the Indian context, we mean making decisions, public policies, and kind of enforcing laws, those regulations and policies for the betterment of the people of India. And the same would hold good for every other country. Within any kind of an organized setup, you make certain decisions and you also see to that they get implemented. Now here what is the implication when you make decisions for an organization? It cannot be a self-centered decision. That is principle number one. The ethical principle number one in any kind of governance will have to be, you cannot have a self-centered decision. If it's within your house, even there it cannot be self-centered. You cannot have a rule or a regulation in a household which will be fitting only for the mother or only for the father or only for the child. Now, in a larger context, this avoidance of self-centeredness prevails over every other decision-making situation in governance. That is what is important. Let's keep that in mind and then go. In governance, you can have three components. We've already seen that it is decision-making. So component number one will be making the decision. Component number two will be setting the rule. The decision is made, but then you'll have to bring it down to a regulation. Let us say, Madam decides to allocate this hall to Disha Bharat this afternoon. But then, after allocating, she will say, let the chairs be laid this way, let the mics be kept in one corner, let the lights be on the sides. Like, for the practical implementation, certain rules and regulations will be formulated. So, setting the rule or setting the regulation from the decision. Decision is something a little abstract. From the decision, to make it implementative, you need to set the rules and the regulations, and subsequently the last part of it will be implementing those regulations. And when you implement, these regulations will have to be followed. So you need to have an enforcement agency. If someone does not follow, what can we do? If someone violates the rule, what can we do? If everyone has to follow, how can it be communicated to everyone? So all that will go into the third component, which is called implementation and enforcement. We'll keep this broad framework and then try and relate as to what happens in the Ramayana. Let's come to decision making. Decision making as far as Ramayana was concerned was a democratic process. When I say democratic process, what does it mean? What is democracy? So, in decision making, how does this by the people, for the people, and all that comes in? Democratic process. I'm not trying to say we'll have to go and sit in Delhi. Like, don't tell me if decision has to be made for, for an organization, we need to go and sit in the capital of a country. I'm only saying this is a democratic process. In a democratic process, you try to get the opinion of everyone. Get the opinion of everyone, which means there can be divergent opinions. Someone can say yes, someone can say no. There can be opposite opinions, there can be diametrically opposite information. It depends on the leader to get all the divergent opinion and then work out what is the best. In other words, evaluate the pros and the cons and then come to the conclusion. Not thrust his or her conclusion or decision or opinion on the others. There should be discussion. If there should be divergent opinions, there should be discussion. Now, can you identify the personality there? Dasharatha. Why have I given the picture of Dasharatha talking to people in his Rajya Sabha? There are people sitting there opposite and he is discussing something. Why have I given this picture? Now, this is a verse from Kamba Ramayana. Subsequently, we go to certain instances from the Valmiki Ramayana also. Now, this is one particular verse. Those of you who can read Tamil may read it. It reads as follows. Tayokkum anbin, tavamokkum nalam payappin, seyokkum mun nindru oru shel gati, uikkum neeral, noyokkum ennin marundokkum, nunangu kelviyaya pugungal, arivu okkum evarkum annan. This is a description about Dasharatha's rule. It says, Dasharatha was like a mother to all his citizens. What does it mean? ஒரு குழந்தைக்கு அம்மா எவ்வளவு அன்பு காட்டுவாளோ, and she'll be worried about the child, right? Even today, when you go back home, your mother will be waiting. ஐயோ பாவம் என் குழந்தை காலேஜ் விட்டுட்டு ஸ்கூல் விட்டுட்டு எங்கேயோ திஷா பாரத்தில் ஏதோ நடத்துனாங்களாம், அதுக்கு போயிருந்தாங்க, சாப்பிட்டுதோ இல்லையோ. Yes, the same kind of affection and love the king had for his citizens. It's not only the affection and the love that mattered, but it was also that he was concerned of these citizens. He was worried, he was concerned of them. And then when he gave them the benefits, it was like, he was like tapas. You all have heard of tapas? When someone does tapas, what happens? Tapas panna enna kadaikum? Boons kadaikum. Appa nariya nalla vishayam kadaikum, right? So adhe madri tapas pannina evlavu nalla vishayam kadaikumo, அந்த மாதிரி Dasharatha was bestowing good things on his citizens. So this was how a king should be. Ramayana gives us, when Ramayana describes Dasharatha, it gives us a picture. Like, the king should be caring for all the citizens. The king should give them all the goodness. It is not that he is the king and sitting there and ruling, but he has to be the servant of all his citizens. It was monarchy, but then monarchy had all the democratic principles imbibed in itself. Now, we'll come to a particular situation. where we find what democracy is and what the democratic principle should be. We all know Dasharatha wanted to, enthrone Rama, right? So when he wanted Rama to be installed the king, he came to the Sabha, where all the council members were there. The council members were not only his ministers, but there were also kings from other areas, from areas which were under his control. So there were smaller kings, so many of them. They were all there in the Sabha. Then he said, I am tired of ruling for so many years. I would want to install my son on the throne. And they all cheered. With that, the story was not over. If we write the story for a drama, we will say Dasharatha announced, and then everyone cheered, and Rama was throned. No. After this, he gave a break and there was some other work and somebody had to go and do some other work. Dasharatha called all of them again and then asked them, I told you I want to make Rama the king, and you all nodded. Please tell me, do you all have your acceptance in this, or you have different opinions? Do not accept Rama as a king just because I am telling you. You please tell me, are you all comfortable with this decision? If someone is not comfortable, please come out with your opinion. Now remember, Dasharatha was an emperor. Okay, and if he had wanted, he could have just said, yes, Rama is the king from this moment. And that is what we all tend to think, isn't it? When we talk about or when we read about emperors, we think emperors had all the authority and emperors did not bother about others and they just walked like that. And then they said, yes, this is the proclamation, and went away. But here you find an instance where the emperor was seeking the opinion of everyone. It included ordinary citizens, it included kings, it included the ministers, and asked them, are you all comfortable? If you're all comfortable with Rama being installed, we shall proceed. And they all said, yes, we are comfortable and we would want to see Rama as a king, and only then the decision was proclaimed. This is what is democratic ethos. The democratic ethos, asking for opinions and prepared to accept a kind of a contradictory opinion. Nobody contradicted there, but then Dasharatha was prepared. And that is what governance is. If I want to take a decision for all of you, when I hear you, I must be prepared to hear opinions which are against my opinions. I should be prepared to hear your voice which may be against what I say. And that is very, very important in governance, hearing divergent opinions. I will give you the exactly opposite situation which is also seen in the same Ramayana. Even from this picture, you can try and find out. There Dasharatha was seated and people were seated in front of him. Here you find what's happening. Our friend Ravana is seated and the rest of them are all standing and bowing down. No one could sit in front of him. He would not permit anyone to say anything. In the Ramayana, there is a very weird situation, a situation which talks about the paradox. I'll explain the situation to you. I avoided the lines because, the Sanskrit lines may be a little too heavy for you as we go through them because it's a long passage. There was a time when Ravana had to have a discussion with his council of ministers? Yes? You think he had any situation he had to have? Was there a situation or not? Before the war. Can we be a little more specific? Was it before the war or it was after something else? Huh? After death of Ravana's son. Aha. After the death of Ravana's son, I'll agree. And the son, how was that son killed? There was one instance where the monkey went there and the monkey set fire to the entire city, right? Entire Lanka was set on fire. The next morning, Ravana had a discussion with his council. That was the first time. He also had another occasion to have a discussion. That was immediately before the war, because he got the information that Rama and his people have come and they are all camping just outside. The first time Ravana started like this. He called everybody was sitting. He said, a king is able to be victorious only because of opinions from the Council of Ministers. This was his opening statement. The opening statement says a king is victorious only because of the opinions coming from the Council of Ministers, period. And then second statement was, there are 3 types of advices. One is Uttama, the second one is Madhyama, the third one is Adama. Right? You can understand the meaning of Uttama, Madhyama and Adama. And then the third statement he said, in the Uttama type of advice, there is no conflicting opinion and everybody immediately agrees to what the king says. Can you understand? The Uttama advice is that advice where in one instance everybody agrees to what the king says. Now what kind of advice would that be? And then he calls it a council. So you can understand, there is absolutely no way that any democracy could have prevailed in Lanka. So in the same story, we have on one side a king who was prepared to accept opposite views. On the other side, we have one king who was not at all prepared to accept any diverse opinion. And we know what happened to Dasharatha and what happened to Ravana. So if we go into these instances, we can find how things happen. Now, there is another instance in between. From Dasharatha to Ravana we went. I want you to look at this. This is a kind of a situation where there is a discussion going on between Rama and Sugriva, maybe on the seashore, isn't it? Now, on the seashore, when they were on the seashore, something happened. Unfortunately, I could not get all those pictures, so I thought with one picture we'll try and visualize what happened. When they were camping on the, yes, you want to say something? You want to say what could have been that? Yes.
So basically, when Rama first met Sugriva, what happened was they both had made a promise that when Rama is done killing Vali, Sugriva would help him fight Sita.
Okay.
But the process was delayed after Sugriva became a king. So maybe that kind of discussion would have went through when they were on the seashore.
I'm so happy that you are able to think beyond Congratulations on that. She seems to know a lot more things. Thank you very much. What's your name? Akshita. Thank you, Akshita. But we probably will reserve that discussion, the discussion on the area that you are pointing out, to another session later. I'll tell Bharati ji to have another session so that we could discuss that. But we are now going to discuss on a slightly different situation, which also you may be aware of. On the mic, Vedma? Illa in the mic, Paravalya? This is okay? Huh? That's nice. Akshita said, Sugriva promised that he would help Rama because Rama helped Sugriva by killing Vali. But Sugriva did not come on time and there was a delay in the process. True. But this is all after the delay. What I am trying to now focus is after the delay. They have already come to the seashore, which means they have to go conquer Lanka. Okay. When they are camping on the seashore, they still have not built the bridge, the Setu, at which time they encounter a difficult situation. Somebody from Lanka arrives. Yes? Vibhishana. Right. Now is the situation, like how they said, setting the context. We have set the context. Imagine Rama and Sugriva, all of them sitting inside the camp. Of course, this picture says, it kind of shows they are sitting on the seashore, but let's visualize, because it's so hot, outside. They were sitting inside the camp. And the monkeys were keeping guard outside. Vibhishana arrived, and Vibhishana sent word. He sent word saying, I have come, I am Ravana's brother. And the monkeys came in and told Rama, Rama, Ravana's brother has come, he is seeking refuge, can we permit him? Now, Rama has to take the decision. Is it not? Whose decision matters? Rama's. But Rama does not make the decision straight. He does not make a unilateral decision. He is just looking at everyone. Please give your opinion. And Sugriva gives the opinion. The first opinion comes from Sugriva. He says, Rama, we cannot accept this person who is coming from Lanka because he is ditching his brother and coming. So we cannot accept him. Now whether Sugriva is justified in that or not, let's keep separately. But here is one opinion. Opinion number one, do not accept Vibhishana. And then the other monkeys started speaking. Some of the monkeys said, we may think of accepting him. And one other monkey said, this fellow should have come earlier. If he is a true fellow, he should have come earlier. என்னைக்கு சீதையை இவன் அண்ணன் தூக்கிட்டு போனானோ அன்னைக்கே வந்திருக்கணும். இப்போ இவ்வளோ லேட்டாக வரான்னா, he did not expect that we will come until this. We have come until this far. So he is now wanting to become friendly so that when we win, he can rule. And then one monkey said, no, we will accept him. Different opinions. Lastly, Hanuman said, we can accept him because it is because of him that I got saved. Otherwise, I would have been burnt. And only my tail, was given that fire touch. Fire touched only my tail because Vibhishana said, you should not kill an ambassador. So Rama is listening to all that, and finally he takes the decision. Here is one example where you listen to all opinions, take all the opinions, evaluate them, assess them, and then decide. Decision making has to be a democratic process. And he did not find fault with people who gave the opposite opinion. Generally, when we have some opinion and somebody is giving an opposite opinion, what would we do? What would we do after 1 month? That fellow, he spoke against me, right? He gave a different opinion. He did not agree with me. We kind of nurture some aggression, or we nurture some kind of opposition against that person. But Rama did not nurture any such ill feeling. He said, fine, you are entitled to your opinion, and you are entitled to your opinion. And that is what is the decision making in any governance. Setting the rule. The second aspect of governance is setting the rule. When the rule is set, no one can deviate. Whether that person is justified to do that or what, no one can deviate. And what was the rule that was set? Anyone has to speak truth in Kosala, and if someone says something, to that truth everyone has to follow. Now Dasharatha had given the boons to Kaikeyi. And how long would it have taken for Rama to say, sorry, I cannot go to the forest? He could have told that, isn't it? Who gave the boon to Kaikeyi? Dasharatha. And Rama could have even told, the father gave the boon, it is for you to fulfill. It is not for me to fulfill. Today we find that kind of an argument coming in, isn't it? நீங்க கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா நீங்க காப்பாத்துங்க, நான் என்னத்துக்கு அதுக்கு கேட்போமா இல்லையா? But here in governance a rule has been set. வாக்கு கொடுத்தா காப்பாத்தணும், அது யாரா இருந்தாலும். And Rama says, I will go for 14 years to the forest. அதில் ஒரு சின்ன nuance இருக்கு. I don't know, young children may not be able to understand. I will tell you that nuance also. Rama comes and stands there. That morning when Pattabhishekam has to happen, Rama comes there, and then Kaikeyi says, you're supposed to go to the forest for 14 years. And she thinks Rama may say something, na 14 varsham ponuma, ayyo, something like that he may say. She just narrates saying, you have to go for 14 years. But she did not say, when does that 14-year period start? Technically, nenach parunga, there is a small hitch. If I tell you, you have to do an internship for 2 months, I have to tell you when it has to start, isn't it? Otherwise, you will ask me, internship 2 months thane, na May maasam soodalla mudinjadukku appuram June maasam poren. Illaya? Now Rama could have told, you said 14 years. Bharathan thirumbi varatum. Bharathan naatla illa, let Bharata come back. I will see Bharata because for 14 years I am going to the forest. I would like to see my brother, I would see him, and after that I'll go. What would have happened? By then, Vasishta could have changed, Dasratha could have changed, they could have changed the entire scenario. Bharata would not accept, that is a different thing. Bharata would not accept the Rajya, but then Vasishta could have changed it, isn't it? He could have prevailed on Dasharatha and made Dasharatha retrieve the whole thing. Something could have happened. And it was a very tricky point. So Rama said, Amma, don't worry, Ma. I am going to the forest today. So the 14-year period will start today. Don't worry. I will not even delay by 2 days or 3 days. I will go today. So when a rule is set, anyone and everyone will have to follow the rule. It is not that the rule maker can become a rule breaker. Very often we find the rule maker becomes the rule breaker, isn't it? Rule is for others. Rule is not for me who made the rule to follow. But here you find the instance where everyone follows. And what about Bharata? Someone told about Bharata. You only told about Bharata. What did Bharata do? He didn't accept. So what did he do? Yeah, he went after Rama. He tried convincing Rama to come back. Rama would not come back. So what did he do? Yeah, Paduka on the throne. And where did he stay? That is also there. All to follow, everyone to follow. Where did he stay? Nandigram. Where is this Nandigram? On the outskirts of Ayodhya. So why did he not go inside Ayodhya? Why did he not go inside Ayodhya? He should have gone inside Ayodhya, isn't it? For 14 years, Rama would not come into the city, any city. He cannot go into any city. The order was he has to go to the forest. It was not the Paduka part of it. Bharata took it on himself. If my brother cannot come, not because my brother alone, not because I am a blood relative, but unduly Rama has been asked to stay in the forest. So I will also not go into the city. I will also stay out. And even Rama did not violate it. You know what happens at the end of it when Ravana is dead? Somebody, I think, as I came in, sir was conducting it. At that time, Vibhishna, Vibhishna has to be enthroned. Okay? Vibhishna has to be enthroned where? Lanka. Please remember, if a king has to be enthroned, the Pattabhishekam has to happen only in the city and not in the forest. Right? It has to happen in the capital city and not in the forest. Now, where is Rama? Rama is on the outskirts of Lanka. The Yuddha was in the outskirts of Lanka. The Yuddha never took place right inside the city. Never, never, never. In none of the stories will you find that a battle took place right inside the city or the battle took place where common citizens were living. Even in the Mahabharata, you find Kurukshetra. They searched for Kurukshetra where nobody was living, which means common people should not be hurt. Common people should not be injured. So now Rama was staying in the outskirts when Vibhishna had to be enthroned. Rama refuses to go to Lanka. He could have told, ராவணன் செத்து போயிட்டான், இன்னும் கொஞ்ச நாள் தான் இருக்குது, 14 வருஷம் முடிய போகுது, நாம் இருந்தால் என்ன பண்ணியிருப்போம்? போனா போகுது, just 2 days, no? சொல்லுவோமா இல்லையா? Many things we kind of say, கடைசியில் வந்துட்டோம், போனா போகுது அப்படின்னு. But Rama refused. Rama said, no, 14 years, not 1 minute before the end of the 14th year will I step into the city. So if there is a regulation, the regulation is followed by everyone. When Ravana died, people could have told, Rama, Ravanane settu poitan, nee konjam va Rama. No, he refused. So everyone has to follow, and that is what is governance. Once a rule is made, everyone has to follow the rule. The last one is enforcement. Everyone has to enforce. And the classic example of enforcement is, of course, Bharata. Bharata taking the Paduka, but then he enforces. Please think, in these 14 years, was there any anarchy in Ayodhya? Was there any anarchy, any kind of, problem, anything? Nothing. Which means the enforcement mechanism was very good. Not only that it was very good, it had all the citizens also abiding by whatever regulations had come in. Now Ramayana has many things. Governance is only one small part of it. Only one small part of it. I will give you an example for a good governance for an individual. And that element which will help an organization, a society, a community. One small example I'll give you. இந்த ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிளில் நான் தனிப்பட்ட முறையில் எப்படி நடக்கணும், நான் அப்படி நடக்கிறதுனால எப்படி எல்லாருக்கும் அது ஹெல்ப்ஃபுல்லாக இருக்கும், அண்ட் எப்படி சொசைட்டி டெவலப் ஆகும், எப்படி ஒரு கண்ட்ரி டெவலப் ஆகும். இந்த மலையை தூக்கிட்டு போகிற ஒரு பேர் என்ன? All of you have seen that picture? Right. Why did he bring the mountain? To save Lakshmana alone? To save Lakshmana alone, or all of them who had fallen down? All of them had fallen down, right? By Brahmastra, all of them had been kind of tied and all of them had fallen down. You agree? And Hanuman was told, please bring the herbs. He went. The herbs hid themselves. You have different versions there. The herbs hid themselves. He was not able to find out the herbs. He forgot. Something happened. He didn't want to lose time. He wanted to bring the herbs fast because he has to come before the sunrise. Before the sunrise. Next morning sunrise he has to come. If he comes later, you cannot revive them. So he has to bring the herbs before sunrise. He decides, yes, I will lift the entire mountain, take it there. He brings the mountain. As he brings the mountain, the breeze from the mountain, touching the mountain, the breeze comes down. The herbs did not have to be plucked from. ஜாம்பவான் வந்து மூலிகையெல்லாம் எடுக்கவே இல்லை. அந்த காற்று பட்ட உடனே everybody got up. Right? Now I have a question here. Where is that mountain? தூக்கிட்டு வந்தாருல்ல? தூக்கிட்டு வந்தாரா இல்லையா? எத்தனை பேர் தூக்கிட்டு வந்தாருன்னு ஒத்துக்கிறீங்க? தூக்கிட்டு வரலன்னு சொல்கிறவங்க கையை தூக்குங்க. தூக்கிட்டு வந்தாருன்னு சொல்கிறவங்க கையை தூக்காதீங்க. தூக்கிட்டு வந்தார் எல்லாரும் ஒத்துக்கிறோம். எங்கே இருக்குது அந்த மவுண்டன்? எங்கே வச்சாரு? சார் நீங்கள் பதில் சொல்லாதீங்க. எங்கே வச்சாரு? It is not in Sri Lanka. He took it back. They are right. He took it back the same night, even before it dawned. He had to take it back, place it where it was, and then he came back. Imagine பண்ணி பாருங்க. He flew over the ocean searching for the Sanjeevani hill, located the Sanjeevani hill, brought the Sanjeevani hill, and then Jambavan told him, Hanuman, please go back and place it wherever it was. Go back and place it. Somebody might need it. You know what? Great lesson there. எடுத்த பொருளை எடுத்த இடத்துல வைக்கலன்னா is that a lesson for all of us? Yes? What happens? We keep searching. எங்கே வச்சேன்னு தெரியல, காணாமல் போச்சு, தொலைஞ்சி போச்சு, அழுவேன். அதுக்கப்புறம் ஐயோ காணுமே, அம்மா கிட்ட கேட்டு அப்பா கிட்ட கேட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் கண்டுபிடிச்சேன். ஐ ஜாலி கண்டுபிடிச்சிட்டேன். But how much time we lose, how much efforts we lose. And when it comes to a larger thing, placing it in the respective place gives it significance also. Why did Jambavan tell him to place it back there? Jambavan very clearly said, go place it back. Someone else might require it. வேற எங்கேயாவது சண்டை நடந்தா வேற யாருக்கோ கூட the same herbs might be required. So it is not that I take something for myself alone. It is for the organizational good. It is for the common good. So he places it and comes back. And now I have another question. when the Sanjeevi hill came, everyone got up, right? Was it an advantage to Ravana also? In other words, I have a question. ராவணன் பக்கத்துலேயே எல்லாரும் எழுந்தாங்களா? சஞ்சீவி மலையோட சாரல் பட்டா இந்த பக்கம் விழுந்து கிடந்தவங்களாம் எழுந்துட்டாங்க. அந்த பக்கம் எழுந்தாங்களா? எத்தனை பேர் எழுந்தாங்கன்னு சொல்ல போறீங்க? தைரியமா கை தூக்குங்க. நான் ஒன்றும் மார்க் போட போறதில்ல. எழுந்திருந்திருப்பாங்க இருந்திருந்தா. You get my point? எழுந்திருந்திருப்பாங்க அங்க இருந்திருந்தா. Ravana gave a blanket order on day 1. யாருக்காவது அடிபட்டு கீழே விழுந்தா தூக்கி கடல்ல போட்டுரு. Don't give them treatment. அவங்களுக்கு ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் கொடுத்து don't waste time. யாருக்காவது அடிபட்டதுன்னா தூக்கி போட்டுரு. Because he did not want the opponents to know the damage of his side. Now, even today, when you have wars between two nations, there is a system where the damages are kind of enlisted, isn't it? இவங்க பக்கத்தில் இவ்வளோ நஷ்டம் ஆச்சு, இவங்க பக்கத்தில் இவ்வளோ நஷ்டம் ஆச்சு. We all read the news. And that will be known to the other side also. So Ravana decided, my weakness should not be known to others. If someone dies this side, throw them into the waters. Ultimately, he lost the chance where he could have reaped the advantage by the Sanjeevi hill. So sometimes, when we are so self-centered, it becomes a loss to the entire country also. That is why in governance you cannot have self-centeredness. Now these appear to be small lessons, but these lessons have a larger effect. And I can go on and on and on. எத்தனை இடத்துல பார்த்தாலும் Ramayana, Mahabharata will give us many, many lessons. And I'll conclude with the last question. That's nothing to do with governance. That's to do with humility and probably capacity. The கடலுக்கு மேலே போயிட்டு வந்தார்ல, இப்போ கணக்கு போடுங்க எத்தனை தடவை போயிட்டு வந்தாருன்னு சொல்லுங்க. டக்குன்னு ஒரு ஆன்சர். 4, 6, 8, 10. 2. Why 8? Went back for what? Fight the war. He walked on the Setu. Shall we calculate? To search for Sita, came back. 2, okay? 1 plus 1. And then for fighting the war, he walked on the Setu. That was, everyone walked. He also walked. Then for Sanjeevi hill, he went, came back with the hill, took it back and came. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Already you have 2. 2 plus 4. So 6. The answer will not stop there. In different versions of Ramayana, the next part is slightly different. In Valmiki Ramayana, it so happens on the last day of the war. Now, இங்கேயும் ஒரு லெசன் இருக்கு. பையை இங்கே பத்திரமா வச்சுட்டு எடுத்த இடத்துல கொண்டு வந்து வச்சுடுன்னு அம்மா சொன்னா, இல்லைம்மா இப்போதைக்கு இங்கே இருக்கட்டம்மா, நான் படித்து முடிச்சதுக்கப்புறம் ஐ ஹாவ் சம் ரெஃபரன்ஸ் டு டூ, இதை முடிச்சதுக்கப்புறம் நான் அங்கே வைக்கிறேன். You and me in the position of Hanuman would have said, இப்போ போய் இந்த மலையை கொண்டு போய் வைக்க சொல்றியே, இப்போ தான் தூக்கிட்டு வந்தேன், தோளெல்லாம் வலிக்குது, அதனால நாளைக்கு கொண்டு போய் வைக்கிறேன். Or a more plausible answer would have been, சண்டை முடிகிற வரைக்கும் இங்கே வச்சுக்கிறேன், சண்டை முடிஞ்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் அங்கே கொண்டு போய் வைக்கிறேன். Isn't it? There could be a necessity. இன்னும் எவனான ஒருத்தன் விழுவான், அப்போ திருப்பி வேணும். இன்னொருத்தன் விழுந்தான், இன்னொருத்தன் இல்லை, அவனே விழுந்தான். On the last day Lakshmana died. I am not writing a new Ramayana, I am telling you what is there in Valmiki and several other versions of Ramayana. On the last day, Ravana kind of, hurled a spear. ஸ்பியரை போட்டுட்டான். அவங்கிட்ட ஒரு வேல் இருந்தது, அந்த வேலை போட்டான். யாரை பார்த்து போட்டான் தெரியுமா? விபீஷ்ணனை பார்த்து போட்டான். கோபம் ஃபுல்லாக விபீஷ்ணன் மேலே. நீ தானடா காமிச்சு கொடுத்த, வா. Now just imagine, இங்கேந்து the spear has started. Vibhishna here. Vibhishna cannot be injured because Vibhishna has sought refuge. That will be a black mark to Rama. So somebody who is watching it, Sugriva, will kind of, cut in. He will think, no, let Vibhishna be saved, I will bear the spear. Just imagine, Sugrivanda, Vibhishna varavendan modalla sonna. But see how things have changed. All because of a good governance, they all gel together. Now Sugriva went in. So the distance would have reduced between the spear and Sugriva. Now Sugriva also cannot be injured, primarily because he is also an object of refuge. He also sought refuge. So now Lakshmana is looking at the whole thing. Lakshmana will come in. By then the spear would have reached Lakshmana and he'll be killed. He'll fall down. Now Anjaneya will say, I know how to get the medicine. I will fly. He will go fetch the mountain, get the herbs, revive Lakshmana, go back, place it and come back. So if you take that way, by the southern recension of Valmiki, it will be 10 times that he went up and down. But then there are other versions, including Kambaramayana, where he will not bring the mountain, but then he will bring the herbs, that is all. So it will be only 2 times and not 4 times. But whatever it is, either 6 or 10. 6, 8 or 10. But it's 6 plus. You said 300 plus, right? We'll keep it as 6 plus. And it only indicates he was able to do all that primarily because he was humble and he was wanting to help others. If only we have that humility and the tendency to help others, all that they were talking about, like, civilizational value and youth are the pillars of the country, all that will come into perspective very soon. I wish all the best to all of you, and thanks very much, Disha Bharat, for a wonderful session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I invite the students. I think we'll have a lot of questions, right? So 2 or 3 questions from the student side. And of course, ma'am will surely clear that. From this aspect, that is governance ethics from Ramayana. So I want volunteers. Yeah.
So the question is, what is Sugrivajane? So does it have any relevance in today's governance? Sugrivajane.
What are they trying to ask? Like, is it only related to, or you want me to
Elaborate maybe a little bit on Sugrivajane. Sorry.
Is there any other question related to that area? If there's any other related question, we'll take them all together.
Namaste, ma'am. My name is Aditi. When we were talking about the first part, democratic process, was sending Rama to the forest a democratic process because all his citizens wanted him as the king, but Dashratha sent him to the forest. So was that democratic?
A very good question, but once the democratic process has set the rule cannot be violated. Okay? So it was not, sending Rama to the forest was not a collective decision, is what you're trying to say. Accepted. It was not a collective decision, but once the rule that no promise can be violated was set, unless the rule is changed, the implementation of the rule cannot be changed. That's the reason that Rama had to go to the forest. And that is why he also accepted, and there was never a question as to why was he accepting. The people did not want him to go out of their affection. But they did not again there question whether Rama should go or not. In fact, there is another situation there. Kausalya would kind of dissuade Rama. And then she will say, don't go. Rama will say, I have to go because the father has given the order. And Kausalya will say, you are worried about your father, but I am the mother. So don't worry about Pitruvakya Paripalanam, worry about Matruvakya Paripalanam. To which Rama will reply, Amma, this is not only Pitru Matru Vakya Paripalanam, this is the order of the king. When the order of the king has come, it is a matter of the entire country, so I have to go. So that is how Rama himself replies to this question.
One more question online. You mentioned initially that a Raja is a Pradhan Sevak, and we see in the leadership paradigm that servant leadership as the best way to serve the society. And you even mentioned Hanuman at the end. Can we take Hanuman as the exemplary leader?
See, leadership and rulership are slightly different. லீடர்ஷிப்புங்கிறது என்ன தெரியுமா? ரோட்டில் போகிறீங்க, டிராஃபிக் ஜாம் ஆயிடுச்சு, எல்லாரும் வேடிக்கை பார்த்துட்ருப்பாங்க. யாரோ ஒருத்தர் டூ வீலர்லேருந்து இறங்கி, பாவம் அவர் யாருன்னே நமக்கு தெரியாது, ஒரு இன்கான்ஸ்பிக்யூவஸ் கேரக்டர் இறங்கி கிடுன்னு அவரோட டூ வீலரை மூலையில் நிறுத்திட்டு இப்படி அப்படி கையை காமிச்சு, சார் சார் கொஞ்சம் நகர்ந்துக்குங்க சார், சார் கொஞ்சம் வழி விடுங்க சார் அப்படின்னு அங்கே ரெகுலேட் பண்ணுவார் பாருங்க. நேச்சுரல் லீடர், அவர் தான் நேச்சுரல் லீடர். லீடர்ஷிப் வந்து
ரைசிங் டு தி அக்கேஷன்.
எஸ், ரைசிங் டு தி அக்கேஷன் அண்ட் ட்ரைங் டு கோஆர்டினேட் அண்ட் கெட் அவுட் ஆஃப் கேயாஸ், ட்ரைங் டு கெட் சம்திங் மேட் அந்த சிச்சுவேஷனில். அதுதான் நேச்சுரல் லீடர். இப்போ ஹனுமான் வாஸ் அ நேச்சுரல் லீடர்.
எஸ்,
பட் even a leader or even a ruler will have to follow certain principles. அதுக்கு நான் ரெண்டு இடம் சொல்கிறேன். Hanuman is kind of, he goes to Lanka, he finds out everything, comes back. நமக்கெல்லாம் தெரியும் ஹனுமானுக்கு வந்து ஒரு வேகம், அந்த ராட்சசனை கொன்னுறணும் அப்படின்னு ஒரு வேகம் he gets. And that is why he kind of, places the fire here, there, everywhere. He will come, when he is coming, he will say, and the குரங்கெல்லாம் இருக்கும் கூட போனா, other monkeys and Jambavan will be there, Angadan will be there. Hanuman will say, that fellow is there and all of them are here அப்படின்னு சொன்னோன்னா, all the monkeys will say, நம்ம போய் இப்போ போட்டு எல்லாரையும் அடிச்சுட்டு வந்துடலாம். Jambavan will be sitting in one corner. Jambavan will say, do not take law in your hand. What you're supposed to do, you do. You cannot kind of assign an overall responsibility on yourself. You cannot become the master and take it on yourself and do that. We have to go back and report. And if we are given orders to kill them, we can come and kill. Otherwise, we cannot kill, we cannot take the law in our hands. This is very, very important, because if each one of us start taking law in our hands, in governance, what will happen? There will be more chaos.
Yes.
So this is one classic example where Jambavan will kind of tell him, no, 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 don't do this. இதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு situation நடக்கும். When they are all coming back, all the monkeys will find one kind of, one grove there, and they will all jump because they are all happy they have located Sita. So they will all jump into the grove. At which Hanuman will kind of channelize all of them. We have to go report. Don't be very happy now. You cannot afford to enjoy your happiness now, because we have to go and report to Rama, and Rama has to know what has happened. So there are times when we kind of, feel elated. Na panniten appadinu we jump into our emotions. That is where the emotion has to be curbed, and the common good will have to be looked into. Idella the kutti nuances of governance which, individually the responsibility will have to be realized.
Thank you.
இங்க யாரோ ஏதோ something and the Sugrivan, that's a
Sugrivajani.
big thing.
It's an online question.
Yeah, I'll just give you a very brief answer to this, because Sugrivan ஆரம்பிச்சா அது அப்படி போகும் வாலி எல்லாம். Sugriva was a little fluctuant. That is where, this girl started somewhere, like one of you said, Sugriva, that small little girl said, she's not here. She said Sugriva delayed the process, and then he did not come back on time. Yes, Sugriva had certain fallacies, but those fallacies would not cost a major loss. Vali had a fallacy which would have costed Rama everything if only Rama had taken him on his side. So அந்த ஒரு differentiation அங்க இருக்கு. I don't think so we have the time to discuss entire Vali episode here, but I will again float a question which each one of you can go home and think. There are many Ramayanic versions. கதையெல்லாம் அங்கங்க கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் மாறி இருக்கும். The way Ravana abducted Sita would be changed, and Surpanaka will have a son by name Jambu Kumara, which is found only in Ranganatha Ramayana. The squirrel episode is found only in Ranganatha Ramayana. You don't find the squirrel episode anywhere else. But then you find one beautiful scientific fact there. Only the Indian squirrel has 3 lines on its dorsum. If you go to the squirrels, go and see the squirrels of elsewhere, like, Africa or Australia, they don't have. Only the Indian palm squirrel has those 3 lines. And it is a very weird fact. Some years ago, they tried introducing this Indian squirrel to countries like Australia. And then they all reported saying it's a nuisance. We regard it sanctified, like, sacred. They said nuisance because இது எல்லா இடத்துக்கும் போயிடும். இது கிடுன்னு எல்லா இடத்துக்கும் போயிடும். அவங்களுக்கு அது கஷ்டமாக இருக்குது. So they said it's a nuisance. But this Indian palm squirrel only has those 3 lines. And that is found in Ranganatha Ramayana. Ranganatha Ramayana, Telangula, there is a beautiful phrase called Ududa Bhakti. And if you ask someone, Telangula சொல்லும்போது சொல்லுவாங்க, பக்தி எப்படி இருக்கணும்னா உடுத பக்தி மாதிரி இருக்கணும். உடுத இஸ் அணில், உடுத இஸ் ஸ்குவிரல். அந்த ஸ்குவிரலுக்கு இருந்த மாதிரி பக்தி இருக்கணும், அதுதான் பெஸ்ட் பக்தி அப்படின்னு. That has come into the Telugu language. You find any number of variations and all that. But in no Ramayana do you find Vali to be pardoned by Rama. In fact, in Malaysia, Cambodia, la sonningalla, angalla one of the Ramayanas is called Kwe Thwarapi. Name vandu Kwe Thwarapi. Kwe Thwarapi indicates Dundubi. Dundubi was a buffalo which fought with Vali, and Vali killed Dundubi. So basic name adudha. Ana, the entire story is Ramayana story. Even there, where it talks about Dundubi and all that, Vali is not spared. So please think that people across the globe have felt that Vali had committed an error. And Vali's error was Vali abducted Sugriva's wife. So, taking Vali on his side, Rama cannot go to Ravana. Ravana enna keppan? Empa on pakathula irukkravan panna correct, naan panna thappa? There will be a natural bias there. So, we'll have to evaluate the story, not the plain story from the incidences, but from the contextual information that the story gives. And that is where it is not one line of the story or what happens in the story like a movie that is important, but what are all the values that are instilled into the epic is totally important. I think we'll not be able to go into it further. Maybe sometime later we'll go into it. Or if there are any questions, you can send it
any
to
other
me
questions?
by to my mail, and I would answer these questions in detail if required.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.
So enlightening. And I think Saturday afternoon, weekend, அப்படினா கூட பசங்கெல்லாம் அப்படி ஃபுல்லாக I think they were so attentive, and it's the magic of her words. Now I call upon Yashwant Bhargav. He's a Disha Bal coordinator. He's a software engineer, to give the vote of thanks. So,
Namaste to everyone. It is very heartening to see all of you here, beating the heat and eager to listen to Dr. Sudha ma'am's insights on governance from the Ramayana. You all may be aware of the famous quote by Paulo Coelho from his famous book, The Alchemist, which says, when you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it. It is this universal force that made the Ayodhya Ram Mandir possible. After many centuries of various battles ranging from physical battles to legal battles, without a doubt, it is the same universal force that has assembled all of us here in this August gathering to gain insights from the Ramayana. The Disha Bharat team conveys our sincere thanks to Dr. Sudha ma'am for her lucid and interesting perspectives. Her talk simply reiterates how the governance principles from Ramayana are still relevant in this day and age. Thank you once again, ma'am, for addressing this gathering. We would like to thank Dr. Venkatamani ma'am, Director of Amity Business School, for being a pillar of strength and support to Disha Bharat. Her constant guidance and support has helped us increase our presence and thereby positively impact the lives of a number of students in Tamil Nadu. Next, we would like to thank three key people who have made this event possible today. Srimati Vidyalakshmi ma'am, Principal of Shankara Senior Secondary School, Srimati Meeta Venkatesh ma'am, Senior Principal, and Srimati Kavita ma'am, Vice Principal of the school. Disha Bharat expresses our heartfelt gratitude to all the three ma'ams for providing us this auditorium and coordinating with us on multiple aspects of this event. We also thank Mohan sir for helping us with the logistics of this event today. We sincerely thank each one of you in this audience, starting from students, parents, and teachers of Shankara School, students of MOP Vaishnava and Amity University for joining us today. Special thanks to Mr. Satish, who leads the NSS team from Meenakshi Engineering College, for making it here today along with his team and supporting us. Thanks to all the audience who have joined our live streaming on Disha Bharat YouTube channel. And thanks to Mr. Satyanarayan, Mr. Uday, and Suresh for support with the videography and live streaming. And we have arranged some refreshments for everyone. Kindly request all of you to help yourselves before you disperse. And thanks to Mr. Mohan, who has helped us with arranging the refreshments for today evening. Last but not the least, our sincere thanks to our Disha Bharat Bangalore team for being our guiding light and supporting us. Thank you all once again for being here. And all the support staff from Shankara School, they've been really helpful today and making this event really seamless. So thank you all once again. Vande Matram. We would like to conclude this event with the Shanti Mantra. So I'll just go ahead with the Shanti Mantra. Okay. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Thank you. And a special mention to all the Shankara students. You have been wonderful. There was great participation from all of you. We didn't really expect this kind of participation. Yeah. Thanks once again.
Very cheerful, fresh. எங்களுக்கே வந்து வயசு கம்மியான மாதிரி இருக்கு. Thank you so much, and thanks to Meenakshi Engineering College students. They came all the way. So refreshments are available. Please make yourself comfortable. And Satish sir, I have not met him. So okay. Live stream in பண்ணிடுங்க.